Have you heard? Have you heard that Europe is having a heat wave? A tropical heat wave. So much so that every single day on the freaking news, American, I get to hear the pleasure or displeasure of how bad Europe, the entire Europe, everybody, is suffering through this ungodly temperatures. So to the people that I reach around the world over there, can you confirm this? I doubt that the news would be lying about it, especially since a lot of it is being covered over there, over there, over there, over there. So, let's take a look at some of these reports. And before I get started, I had planned to do this a couple of days ago, and things just got, in the way. And I want to also respect and give importance to the earthquake that hit Venezuela. It is a tragedy. It's horrendous. I do have friends who have family in Venezuela because I lived in Miami. And thankfully, a majority of them, families are safe. Only one or two may have lost siblings and family members. So whatever you can do to acknowledge, represent, send whatever you can to these outreach places, just like every other time that we have a tragedy as such, or even worse, or whatever the case may be, it's important because it does help. So with that out of the way, I am reporting on the heat wave that's happening in Europe, which, by the way, I feel like I've heard this at least going on for 3 years now before I moved back to New York. But let's take a look. They don't.
So what to do during a heat wave? Well, naturally, you turn on the air conditioning. In Europe, only about 20% of people have it. Here in the UK, aircon, as they call it, is very rare. Only about 5% of people have it. On top of that, houses and buildings here are very old, many dating back to the mid-19th century. Westminster is even older than that. They were designed to retain heat, so on hot days, it feels boiling hot.
I'm from the States originally. It feels really different, even this temperature in like New York versus in London. It feels much hotter here, even when the temperature is the same.
London also has a microclimate, meaning the sheer number of concrete buildings turn it into an urban heat island, trapping the heat, making it feel up to 50 degrees warmer.
I don't like it at all. It's absolutely insane. This will be my first summer in England, and I'm not enjoying it at all so far.
Now, on the subway, or as we call it here at the Tube, the ride can be really painful as thousands and thousands of people squeeze in for their morning and evening commutes. There are fans on the subway lines, but most do not have any air conditioning.
Trying to stay in the shade as much as possible and trying to do as little.
Their Tube, which is what we call a subway here in New York, they don't have AC. They only have fans. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been down the New York City subway system, and when you're standing on the platform, if you make it through waiting for the next train and you don't become a puddle because there's no air conditioning in the stations, or you get on a train and that one freaking cab doesn't have air conditioning, you can tell because everybody else is on the other cabs and that one cab is empty. You're in hell. This is what I envision hell to be. I've been there, done that. Now, I had no clue up until maybe a few years ago when I've heard this before. But now I really, really am listening because me no go to Europe in the summer because it's not just London, it's everywhere. And the fact that they have built these very old buildings, which for the time, we didn't have these issues with heat, or they didn't have these issues with heat. They had more issues with cold. So it makes sense. And I started looking around and I was like, okay, but why can't people put split units in if they don't have the capacity, the windows or whatever they can get air conditioning. Like right now, I have a mini split in the basement. My son has it all around the house. We don't have central air, but we have mini splits. So, as I started digging around, other than some people saying that, they need to rough it out, that they can't be just big babies, and that they not, Americans are spoiled. I'm like, I don't know, but I like to feel, first of all, I've never been spoiled in my life. Let's start with that. Let's not blanket the plate and say all Americans are spoiled. Okay. And I don't think that being in an environment that I don't need to wake up as a poodle of pool of water and slide myself into a bucket to get out of the house is being spoiled. Not anymore. Now that we have the ingenuity and the engineering to actually create cool air. Maybe back then, but back then they weren't suffering through 100 degrees weather. Everywhere. There's a dome of heat over them, which can very well come over here to the United States. Okay? So I started digging in, and this makes more sense because I know that maybe some Europeans are upset with America because, our 250th anniversary, year anniversary is coming. And, some people may feel that we're spoiled and that, they're jealous and, whatever the hell's going on. I was like, first of all, that theory cannot be the reason why all these people are suffering. So the real problem, it seems to be, and again, you can confirm, anybody from there or who's been there or knows about this more, that the electrical grid's infrastructure is not capable to handle everyone getting air conditioning, which makes sense. At least better than they don't like Americans and we're spoiled. Okay? I hope not. That's a lot of animosity, okay? So if they've never been prepared to actually deal with this type of weather, and they've been going on years and years and years, and as the temperature is rising, they're still not mentally prepared to deal with the fact that they need an electrical grid, there are going to be some problems out there. Now, apparently, only, 5% of people have AC? So I can't imagine. There's also an issue with the electricity. It's very, very expensive from what I understand. Okay. So I actually thought about going to Europe. I would love to go to Ireland. Of course, during the summer months. But, this is what I found out. Let's take a look. Stay tuned.
Here's the one thing that I have not seen anybody on TikTok talking about when visiting Ireland, and I'm talking all of Ireland. That is how their windows open. And unfortunately, we have not found any hotels that we've stayed at that have AC. Now, my friend did find a couple. We did not stay there, but she's paid a pretty penny for those. So just FYI, if you're coming to Ireland, be prepared for no AC and a really very little ventilation.
So there goes Ireland. I guess I have to visit it in the winter months. Anyone from Ireland can confirm when is the best time to travel to Ireland. I really do this is one of my bucket lists. Probably I'll do it after when I turn 60 in 4 years. There's 4 bucket lists that I have. I like to check off. Ireland is one of them. The second one was Australia, down under. I really would love to go see that. So, when you say that into the universe and then the universe comes back and shows you this next clip, they do.
Americans, I'm not being silly, yeah? But just take a look at me right now. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm sat in my kitchen trying to cook dinner. No, I haven't been for a run. No, I haven't been lifting weights. I've just been sitting here and stirring the pot every now and again. This is what happens when the UK has a heat wave. You are just in a puddle all day long. And you know why that is? It's because we don't have any air conditioning. No houses have aircon. In America, okay, it might be hot, humid in the day, but at least in the evening, when you go back to your home, you can click that button, put the AC on, and be nice and chilled. Get some goose pimples because you're a little bit cold. In the UK, when we have hot weather, it is barbaric. There is no way to get away from the heat. Ain't nobody got a swimming pool, maybe a paddling pool, but nothing like that. Nothing like they have in the US, man. No ice dispensaries, no aircon. This is going to be me all night now. Like, how am I going to go to bed? I'm going to go to bed in a puddle of my own sweat. Take me back to America.
What do you mean there's no ice in Australia? What is happening in the world down under? I never laughed so hard. And I feel so bad because I can't. They don't even have swimming pools. They have paddling pools. What is a paddling pool? And that he's going to go to sleep drenched in his own sweat, in a pool of sweat. He didn't work out. He didn't go for a run. All he did was try to cook a meal. Oh my God. All right. So now I need someone from Australia. I'm pegging someone from Ireland if I reach out there to let me know when is the best time to visit. And can I combine that with going to visit Australia? Is that around the same time? Winter? Your winter? When is your winter? What is happening? What's going on? What is the best time? Because I can't. I don't think it's about being spoiled. It's that I physically can't. When you see these two people, they're dying. They're dying. It's not cool. Okay. And one of them is an American in Ireland, so she's done. And this one is from Australia, and he's like overdone. Okay. So then, America, I thought about how do people feel from other countries coming here dealing with what we consider a heat wave? Is anybody visiting? So I found this next guy, and I'm like, I almost died. Fell off the floor and everything. I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. But you know what? Yeah, he did. And you get to see it with me. So, hey, if I'm bringing value, if this is funny, and I don't mean funny laughing at these people, I'm talking about the reality of what's going on. And you're sharing this with, with compassion. And you are experiencing this, or you have experienced this. I'm not talking about that. And you want to join my community? I hope you do. Because, hey, by the way, my name is Nina. And these are not the things on my YouTube algorithm. These are the things that I found because my television told me that there may be problems outside of the Americans in the United States. So let's take a look at someone who's here and has an infinite love for America. The brave and the bold and the beautiful. They do.
I have found out why America is so great. And it is one thing and one thing only. Air conditioning. It is the greatest thing I have ever experienced. It is hotter than Satan's butt crack out here. But what makes it bearable is the air conditioning. I believe you need to add a verse to your national anthem that talks about air conditioning. Americans are only scared of one thing, and that is being hot. But I love it. I love it. Is it something you have against being hot? Because the air conditioning, the ice in everything? Alors, something that I figured out while being here is that ice makes everything better. Better. I am convinced Americans put ice in every drink. The other day, I was out for breakfast, and I was at a cafe. I look over, and a man had ice in his milk. Oh. Americans love ice so much le Titanic, non, le Titanic, whatever you say. I believe the Titanic was out to get more ice. Here in Texas, I see these signs that say that some people want ice. I don't understand that. And then people tell me that ice will take me away. What is this?
It is hot as Satan's butthole. Let's start with, how would you know that? Is this from personal experience? And he is shocked of how much ice we put in our drinks and how hot it is and how amazing we are that we should add something in our national anthem about this. Like, dude, like, okay, here's what I figured out. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you didn't laugh at Satan's butthole, I need you to go back and rewatch that part and really listen to him, because he's dead up serious. Like, he's in Texas. In Texas, they cook him good. It's hot out there. I'm not gonna lie. But here's what I thought. Obviously, ice and cooling is a big thing for Europeans. And if we can match dating people who are in that region to people here, where we can help them survive the heat, however we help them. Form an ice brigade, I don't know. Them come visit, I don't know. I think that I have a good way to icematch.com. You don't think? You don't think that would work? Because they love us. They're dying. They're trying to understand what we're doing, and all we are providing is ice cubes. You don't think that that's going to be a good dating app? I know that if I was living out there and I was matching with someone out here, I would be on the next whatever it takes just to spend some time in the AC. And maybe, just maybe, you never know, you might get connected. Seriously, it's a better idea than what the hell's going on these dating apps already. I'm sorry, but when you see these people suffering and how much the guy was not complaining, he was surprised that we put ice in our milk. I would be surprised if I go out there and there would be no ice. I'm like, what? Really? No ice? I can maybe forgive you because of the air conditioning, but you don't have an ice warehouse anywhere in your country to supplement the disaster that is going on here? Because ice has been around, I don't know, a very long time. What the hell? Now, this next guy is an American who is living in, I want to say London, and he wishes that he knew these things. And I'm going to tell you something. This one thing I'm grateful about the internets, the TikToks, the Instagrams, and the YouTubes is that we are filled with much more information now than we ever have been. And we can Google, figure it out, look at it, and get it from real people who are suffering. Because I would have never known about this. I would have been happily going to Europe in my summer vacation, and I would have been like, what in the hell, and where in Satan's butthole am I in? I would have flown right back. I'm just saying. Let's take a look at this American who's living out there and what he wishes he knew. I think it's important. They don't.
As an American that lives in London, these are things I wish I knew before surviving the British summer. First up, most places don't have AC. AC to me is a staple, bro. And yes, there are some places that have AC, like hospitals or even some buses. But from the people I know, my friends don't have AC. My first flatmate actually taught me a hack. She told me to put my sheets in the freezer, and we will legit freeze our sheets and take them out before going to bed. Second, there are no ceiling fans. Yes, you can buy portable fans, but I'm specifically talking about the fans that hang up in each room. I've yet to see one ceiling fan in the UK. When I'm falling asleep at night, there's something about a fan just being above you, circulating the air naturally, then a fan just blasts you in the face, bro. Like, pause. Last but not least, there are no ice machines. Yes, of course, some people may have it, but I'm talking about the average household. The only ice most people have are the little ice trays where you put water in it, you put it in the freezer and make it freeze for a day, like we're in the 1960s, bro. I'm not trying to be bougie, but it'd be nice to have a cold glass of apple juice just once a week. Pray for your boy as I finish the rest of this UK summer.
You put your sheets in the freezer to freeze them so you can wrap yourself in it. So you wake up with further pool of water. Can please someone tell me, have they ever done that? Because freezing a blanket, a sheet, I would love a visual, please. Because how big are these refrigerators? Because I would need at least 12. And how long do they last? Because if it's 100 and something, and on top of that, they're in these insulated buildings, that makes it feel 50 degrees higher. So in 150 degree weather, that sheet is gonna last all night. All night. Okay. I'm happy to hear that some of the hospitals have AC. And he just wishes to have ice cubes. Again with the freaking ice cubes. What is going on? Do you need me to send you ice cubes? Like literally the trays? Like we have Temu, we have, Amazon, we have all those ridiculousnesses. We can have the dollar store. I'll set up a charity to get you guys the nice big thick, ice cube trays so you could put them in your freaking freezer or freezer so you could have some decent orange juice or freaking milk. What's wrong? This is beyond. We're in 2026, guys. Y'all need to come up with a solution. And if I understand the integrity of the electric grid, but something's got to give. You need to be given free ice. You need to have ice bath houses. Okay? Ice bath houses. Like ice, you don't need an electrical grid. Well, no, maybe not. No, you don't. Figure it out. Because for 3 years now, I've been listening to this. And if it's true, this is what the norm is going to be out there. People are not going to make it. They're going to be coming over here, impressed by us. And I'm telling you now, I guarantee you, this will be a great dating app. Okay? But I don't come to you with only problems. I found 2 solutions for you. One of them is a little bit longer than the other, so please bear with me. And you need to watch it all the way through so you can get the girth and understanding of this ingenious invention based on events that I can't tell you if it works or not. But I would love for someone to tell me that A, they've tried this or is willing to try it, because I cannot afford a fan because my son will kill me because we have AC. What the hell do I need a fan for? And let's just go through the rest of it. They don't.
The power is about 85 degrees outside right now and I'm freezing. Here's how to turn any standing fan into a whole room air conditioner using 2 frozen bottles and some zip ties. This is a $0 upgrade from my last DIY air conditioner and it works so much better. So let me show you how to build it. What I'm using here is a Lasco standing fan. This is an oscillating fan. And what I need to do is take these bottles and connect them in the back. So let's go ahead and turn it. I've already taken the front, in case you're wondering what this looks like. I've already taken the front off. See? Lasco. And what we're going to do is turn it around and connect these 2 bottles like this. I'm putting them upside down because I want to have the skinny part at the bottom. And I'm going to use, I have black zip ties, but I'm going to use white ones just so you can see it better. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Now you want to make sure that this isn't going to touch the blade on the inside. So I'm going to have that one like that. Sometimes the zip ties aren't long enough, and if they aren't, you can actually just add another one on it. Can you see what I'm doing here? Just by going like this here. And see that? So you got that one there, and this one here down here, I'm putting it so it's going to go tight around the top of the neck, which is going to hold it on. Because if I do it the other way, it's probably just going to slip right out. So there's one of them. Let me bring that up again so you can see me doing this a little bit better. And on this side, the same thing. I'm just going to have it, let's see, go in there, and out there to catch the top. That one like that, and like this. Sometimes it helps to have extra hands. But Luca was afraid if I did this by myself that I'd end up getting my hand stuck on there saying, help, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. There we go. That's all there is to putting it together. And then in the front, I need to put the front back on here. Yeah. There we go. That's on. Now, one more thing that's important to note is that as the bottles in the back start to melt, okay, you're going to have some dripping down there. So I should have mentioned this before. Just take a towel and put a towel down there, and let's go ahead and see how it's doing. I've had it running for a few minutes. 30 down to 75. Nice and cool in here. And it's going to get cooler. I need to have a place to hold this so it can continue to see. And another thing about it is it's an oscillating fan. So now, as you can see, the air is being cooled all over the room. Those bottles in the back are 1 liter bottles, and they perfectly fit the back of this type fan and a lot of your standing fans. Just move them around so they're just right. In fact, from when I first showed you, I actually lowered them about 2 more inches so they could get a little more central. I thought I'd get a little closer here so I could take advantage of some of this cool air. Right now, it's already 72. And you can see I've only had the thing running for probably about 5 minutes now. So that brings me to how long will it last? The melt time for these 2 bottles, and this is in a room about this size, which is, I'd say, 12 by 15, is about 3 to 5 hours. Now that's melt time from when the ice goes down to water. And then once it melts completely, you're figuring about 30, 32 degrees. It's probably going to be another 2 hours before it.
Show you this ice chest air cooler. Now it's really cranking. I got it back onto the solar panel. The sun is out now. And now that air is really coming out of there fast. You got the freezing air blowing out of there, giant block of ice in the ice, all run by a 15 watt 1 amp solar panel. You do, take the pipe you buy, hold it down on the ice chest, take a knife and just cut around the edge. Angle the knife in a little bit so when you jam the pipe in there it's nice and tight. Same thing with the fan. Just angle it around. The knife in just a little bit when you do this. We're going to do the same thing with the fan that I'll mount right behind it. And you just fill this sucker with ice, follow the line, angle it in slightly. Your measurements, it gets anywhere from 38 degrees Fahrenheit to about 45, depending on how fast the fan is running. With a solar panel, it's going to change speeds depending on if the sun goes behind a cloud. 39.5, yeah, that's about what it feels. This up to your car, a solar panel, or even a little battery if you want to do that type of setup. The air runs anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. I ran it for 5 hours with a giant block of ice in there, and the ice block was about half gone after 5 hours, so you could probably run this for 10 hours max at a time. Close up of the fence. That's just 2-inch diameter PVC 90-degree elbow vents. $2 at Home Depot. $10 or $11 for this fan at Walmart, along with the $2 ice chest. That's the hookup right there. Just a 12-volt socket, 12-volt plug. Has the on-off switch, optional. And I just got it clamped to the solar panel right now. 15-watt 1 amp solar panel. Highly recommend this project. That air coming out of there is really, really cold. 39 degrees, 38.5. Coming out of the cooler. That air is blowing right on me. It is freezing. Plug this straight into the cigarette lighter of your car and use it as one of those redneck car coolers. You could also just hook this straight to a solar panel. This is a 10-watt fan, 0.8 amp. So just use one of those Harbor Freight 15-watt 1 amp panels or anything equivalent to that, and this thing will crank all day in the sun. No battery, inverter, or charge controller needed. Or just hook this up to a battery in your house. And there it is hooked up to the battery. You can plug this into your car through the cigarette lighter, or you can just hook this straight to a solar panel. That's what I'm going to do.
You're welcome. Okay. Let's start off with the first guy. You will need 2 water bottles, of isolating fans, some zip ties, and probably a towel. So, for the ones that are out there who can only do this version, I would invest in a lot of water bottles, at least 50,000 of them. An isolating fan, I would order at least 25 And the zip ties, you can either faux it or get them somewhere, rubber bands. I don't know. As far as the ice is concerned, um, I don't know what to tell you about ice. But again, I go back to, do you need me to send you ice trays? You can make your own ice in your fridge. If you could put your sheets in your fridge, you could put ice trays in there. And you can freeze the water bottles, you know, all 50,000 of them, and wrap that thing around your entire house and let me know how it goes. You're welcome. As for the second person, I would like confirmation from anyone who has tried this before I go ahead and vote for it for both of them at this point. Really, truly. I mean it. I'm serious. I mean it. How? Looks great. I would venture to try it myself, but that would require buying things that I don't need to buy. But if you have a styrofoam thingy hoozy wuzzy, an isolating fan, and again, we go back to ice out in Europe, I think that you guys are grown and you could figure it out how to make ice. You might have a winner chicken dinner. I would invest in the styrofoam hoozy wuzzies. Again, I'm going to think 50,000, just like the ice, because that looks really, really trying, and you may break it. So you may need a few backups. And as for the oscillating fans, I heard that you guys have fans, so I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Don't tell me you don't have no damn fans, because I heard that you have fans. Okay? So, since Europe is suffocating, I would love for anyone from out there to please chime in and let us know why you cannot fix this problem, other than the fact that the electricity is very high and that you don't have the infrastructure to put every air conditioning in every unit. I get that, but I gave you two options. You let me know how it goes. And to top it all off, let's take a look at another American in Europe and how his day has been going. Because regardless of what happens, you got to make a day out of it and have fun. Let's take a look at what he considers fun. Subscribe.
This is a day in the life of an American in Europe. I wake up in the morning with no AC to the smell of cigarettes drenched in sweat. At 9 a.m. I get pickpocketed. Then I go out for breakfast. The service around here is a load of crap. After 45 minutes, I finally get a standard European portion of food. At 10 a.m. I wash it down with some real food. Then I go to the beach. A couple of the women forgot to put on their tops today. At 1 o'clock I get pickpocketed. I go out at 3 p.m. and all the stores are closed and everyone's sleeping. Bunch of lazy bums. At 3:30 the heat gets to me and I need to take a quick power nap. Then I head to the Americanized part of town so I can feel comfortable. Then I eat more real food. Shortly thereafter, a beautiful woman ruthlessly pickpockets me. All that pickpocketing has made me really hungry. At 5 o'clock, it's time for a quick pickpocketing. Then I'm feeling a little homesick, so I stop and grab some American food. At 6 p.m., I set my backpack down for 0.2 seconds. It instantly gets stolen from me. At 7, I feel bad for myself, but then I remember something. I'm American. I'm rich. This is all just play money to me. And that's my day.
Welcome to Europe. And no offense, in all due respect, that's just a regular Tuesday in Times Square in New York City. So, if you think you're being overly pickpocketed, stand out there for a few minutes and see how that goes for you, okay? No offense. I love you. I love New York for a great vacation. I'm a New Yorker. I could say it, okay? So, other than the scorching heat, you will find respite in many locations in New York, but you will not find your wallet or your camera. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, you gotta learn to live. Now, he is hilarious. All these people were very other than the newscast that is bad, had their way of explaining what's happening out in Europe. So, call to action. I need great times to visit Europe. I have 4 years to plan this out. And by 4 years, if the temperature is going to be rising, it's already at 107, and they keep saying that it's getting hotter and hotter. By the time 4 years come, you will be in Satan's butthole. So I will take that into consideration, how much of Satan's butthole I plan to visit and at which time. And I'm going to bring ice trays. They're going to probably stop me at the airport and ask me what. I'm like, what? You haven't heard what's going on in Europe? They need ice trays, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. Let's pray for these people because it's not funny-ish. So, as I always say, I hope I brought some value to you, some smirk, laugh, joy, whatever the case may be, and you consider, if you have yet not subscribed, subscribing to my beautiful community, because my OGs are here and they're always supporting me, and I'm hoping that I made them rethink their life choices a little bit, and stop complaining, because we're spoiled, because our 250th American anniversary is coming in 4th of July. So, let's be grateful we have ice trays, ice warehouses, swimming pools, fountains, AC, milk, and ice cubes. I can think of 20 more, but let's cap it off of that. Because from here to around the world, and literally, I want to reach everyone out there. Because I need some sort of verification of what in the hell is going on out there. I want to wish you all a blessed day, a cool night and day, a week, month, year. And I hope it gets better for you. And thank you, everyone. Take care. Goodbye. Mwah. Mwah. The French way.